Hey YouTube, what is going on? Got a new video for you here today, and this video is all about making event Pokemon or Pokemon that you have not been able to receive in the past because of events or certain distributions that you missed or are not able to get anymore. Now, first things first, this will use an action replay. If you do not have one, there is also another method down below in the description for you. But the reason that I'm using the action replay and PokeGen is because upon using this tool right now on your screen, I can edit the Pokemon any way I want, but still make it legal and, adjust it further to how I want it to be used. So, all we're going to be doing, we're going to download something. Oh, first off, go to Google and just type in Pokecheck. It should be the first one. It should say something like fake GTS stats recorder right next to it. So, anyways, once you get to this website, like I said, there will be a tutorial of how to use just your DNS and all that, but for now, once again, we're using the action replay. So, let's say we want to make a Celebi, because someone may have missed the Celebi event, or the one they've got through PokeBank's distribution wasn't really good with its IVs. So, there are 914 Celebis here, so we have a lot to pick from. But I'm just going to go with a timid one. Now, realistically, it does not matter which one I pick, just so long as it is legal. Because if it is illegal, you cannot transfer it through PokeBank, and it will not go through to X and Y, which is what we're trying to do here. So, let's just go with this timid one, and let's do this. The first thing you should do before anything, scroll to the bottom and hit check Legality Analysis. Now, here's the thing. This will tell you everything about the Pokemon as to whether or not it's legal, if it'll go through online, or if it'll go through PokeBank. Now, things like Pokemon is likely edited or RNG abused or has exactly 580 Vs, those things are okay. They're in orange, not a problem. Now, one other thing is, this says this event has a nickname. Now, if there is an event Pokemon, you are not allowed to nickname it. The game will not allow you to do so. So if you ever see something like that, just delete its nickname, and yeah. So once you figure out if this thing is legal, then you should be okay to download the file and edit it. But here's an example of something that will not work. Victini. This is an event, but when we scroll down to the legality analysis, we see many things. Hacked / event only. Now, I believe this still was set to be an event, but if you see anything like this that is in dark red, don't download it and try and find another file that has all green or slightly, just orange things. Like things like this don't matter. Things like this may or may not matter. I know Pokerus you could still get on this, but that's not really a big deal. But things like, encounter type, if it's in dark red, long story short, don't download it. So, going back to the Celebi here, all we're going to do now is we're going to go to the bottom once again and click download Pokemon file. Now the move I'm going to be doing once again is the choice scarf set here. So now that we have this thing downloaded, we're just going to go here, we're going to go to file and open. Now all we have to do is go into the downloads and find our Celebi. Now I believe I might have downloaded one already. Did I? Yeah, it was called Really. Okay. So first things first, delete that PID. You don't even need it. Next, the nickname. Since you're not allowed to nickname these events, just completely get rid of the name. You don't really need to retype its name, but I just do that in general. That's how I've always done it. Now, level 100, that's okay. Timid, good. And met. Now, this is the reason that we're using Pokecheck, because if everything checks out in the legality checker, then everything as far as the country, the origin, and this whole met thing is already done for us as long as everything seemed to be legal. So that basically saves you about 4 or 5 minutes of scrambling for information that you may or may not have correctly. So now that that's all good, all we're going to go to is the stats. Looks like everything is good. And I think I'm just going to leave it, to what it is. All these IVs are good. So now we're just going to change this up a little. We're going to go Leaf Storm and Earth Power and Hidden Power, and that's going to be Ice. So we'll change that right now. Let's go to 30 and 30. Alright, so we've got our moveset. Now, finally, this is always the trickiest part, because if something is an event, it has specific codes. Now, if you look this thing up on Celebi, you will know that the ID number for this event is 02211, not 2211. However, if there is a 0 before any of the numbers, or if the ID number starts with a 0, it will automatically be removed in the game. So delete it in PokeGen, because it might not work. It hasn't worked for me in the past when I've done that. So just leave out that very first 0 if it starts with 1. If it has 1 in the middle, leave it. So this is just about done. All we're going to do now, double checking the attacks, stats, met and main, everything should be okay. But one more thing, I will leave a code to this as well in the description. Your secret ID, this little box right here. It's a code hidden in the game that is only yours. No one is going to have the same secret ID as yours. So all we're going to do, we're going to look at a past file here. We're going to copy it, and then we're going to go back to Celebi, view its data. And there we go. That's literally all you need. Because this is an event, I'm not going to change this winter 2011 part at all. My secret ID will enable the code to go into the game, and this is the ID for that specific Celebi, for that event Celebi, so we have to leave it. Typically, don't change this at all when using Pokecheck. It's not going to harm your game in any way, but you don't know if something is supposed to have that ID or if a Japanese one needs it. Just don't change it and you should still be okay. So, once again, double check everything, make sure it's all good, and looks like it is. So, one more time, we're just going to set, and we're going to go to File and save this on the computer if we ever want to download another one. So, we're just going to go to Recent Places and PokeBank. So, now all we're going to do is Celebi at Choice Scarf, and there we go. So, there we go. It's got Pokerus, it's got all this stuff, so everything looks good. Now, finally, all we're going to do is click Code Generator, and to make sure your game that you are using is selected. If you don't have the proper game selected and you try and hit Select to activate your code, your game will give you a black screen and it will say an error has occurred. So make sure your game is matched up with the codes. So once you have that, you got your language. You can choose your activation button, but I just leave it at select anyways. It's not a huge deal. Then just click Selected Pokemon, which should just be Celebi, and it is. Then all we're going to do is click Generate. There's our code. Just going to copy it and close that window. So now finally all we're going to do is going to right click, Add New Cheat, and just title this thing Celebi Choice Scarf. Paste the code and always double check it, C20000, and I believe that was part of the code. So just click back here and double check that, making sure it's the correct, and it is. So there we go. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it helped you out, please leave a like. Recapping, just go to Pokecheck, search the Pokemon you want, click search, and the only reason we're doing this is typically for events. If you need an event Pokemon and you're not quite sure how to change its met conditions so that you can bring it into X and Y via PokeBank, just go in here, make sure the legality checker works, and you should be good. So once again, thank you all for watching. If this helped, leave a like. If you have any questions, post them down below. I should be able to help you. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you all later.